Guys, this is Dr. Callahan with week 5, Wednesday or Thursday. Sorry about that. How are you guys doing today? So today we're going to go over questions number 141 to 150. So I would suggest that you guys go ahead and highlight the things that you feel are the right answers. And you guys have the first 5 questions here, the next 5 questions on the back. And let's go ahead and take a look to see how you do the first one. So continuing on with our coloring and shading of inequality from yesterday, it says which inequality pairs with this one to complete the system of linear equation represented by the graph. So let's go ahead and graph the first one. Here your b is a -1, which is that last number right there. Your m is going to be the number in front of the x, which is a -2/1. So if I were to graph this, I start off at -1. So go down to -1. I go down 2/1, down 2/1. And given the fact that there is an equal sign on the bottom, you know it is a solid line like this. And in addition, because it is actually not eating the letter y, it is actually eating the letter x, you shade below this line. Okay, so that's the one that I have. Now what I need to figure out is what is this red shaded region? Well, first thing I notice is that it is a dotted line. So it's either like this or this. It's also shaded up or to the right. So I know that it's eating the letter Y. So then looking at this right here, immediately I know it's not A because it's not eating the letter Y. It is not C because it's not eating the letter Y. So it's either going to be B or D. So then I look at my graph, and where does that start off with? The line started off at 2. So it would have to be a 2 here at the very end. This one here is a -2, so you know it's not D. So the correct answer in this situation is going to be B as in boy. All right, let's take a look at number 142. What are the x-intercepts? So when you're looking for the x-intercept, y is equal to 0 of this continuous function. So when you have points like this, you have to have a 0 right here. Well, that doesn't have a 0 in the y value because it's always xy. This one could be it. This one could be it. This one is not it. So it's either B or C. Well, looking at this, when y is 0, x is -4. When y is 0, x is +4. So the only one that's possible is B as in, or excuse me, C as in cat. 142. I'm going to go ahead and pause this for you guys to go ahead and take a look at this. So pause the video and take a look. Turning point is when does your graph actually change directions? Okay, so looking at this, -6, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 6. 8 is probably here. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's my first point. Done. -4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Done. Next point, -2, 0, 1, 2. There we go. Next one, 0, -2. So at 0, I go 1, 2 to -2 right there. And then afterwards, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Then 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. Then 6, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the turning point, and my graph is not perfect, you guys, and that's okay, is when does the shape actually change or turn? And that is going to be right here. That's when turning, and guess what? That's a -2, 0. So your correct answer is going to be B as in boy. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and have you guys do the same thing for this one. So pause the video. The local minimum is asking you if this is your graph, this piece right here is a local minimum. So you guys pause the video and try this one on your own. 145. What is a solution of this equation? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a test and kind of like I guess like a test trial of this. You know this is x and this is y. When you plug the x and y value into this equation and into this equation, it has to be equal to each other. So the only one that will actually do that, and if you plug this in, so you have y, which is 1, equals -5 times 0.4 plus 3. Do they equal each other? Here, the second one, y equals 1. So I do know that's the case. So take your calculator and check that for the first one. All right, so this is your break in between. So we're done with the first 5 questions. So let's go on to the next one, next 5. Which one is a valid prediction about the continuous function f of x? F of x is just y. This one's saying the y value is less or equal to 0. Are all the y values smaller than 0? No, because I have bigger numbers like 5 right there. That's bigger. Here it's saying y is bigger than 0. Is the y values bigger than 0 from the x interval -1 and up? So from -1 and up, and are all the y values bigger than 0? No, because guess what? That's actually equal to 0. This one's saying it has to be bigger than 0, so it could be 1, 2, 3, 4. But guess what? It's including 0, so that's not true. C, it's saying y is bigger or equal to 0 between -1 and 1. So in between -1 to 1, are these numbers bigger or equal to 0? And that is accurate. So your correct answer is C as in cat. 147. What is the solution for this system? So all you have to do is plug in the x and y value into these two graphs. So let's try the first one. First one, your x is 7 and your y is 4. So when I plug into this equation, I'm going to have 4 is equal to 1 over 3 times 7 plus 2. Do they equal each other? So give that a try. And if they don't, then you need to move on to the next one. Next, we're going to do is going to do the same thing over here. So 4 equals 4/3 x, which is a 7 minus 5. So go ahead and give that a try. Okay, you should have a little bit of time to play around with this. So let's move on to 148. For 148, it says a science test which is worth 100 points consists of 24 questions. Each of the question is worth 3 points with 5 points. So if x is the number of 3 points, and y is equal to 5 points, which one is going to be the answer? So let's go ahead and solve for x and y. So the first thing I'm going to do in this situation is I'm going to solve for y. Y equals 24 minus x. I'm going to take this part right here and plug it right there for y. So 3x plus 5 times 24 minus x equals 100. You need to distribute the 5. So 3x plus, I'm going to try 24 times 5, which is 120 minus 5x equals 100. Let's go ahead and combine the like terms. We have negative 2x plus 120 equals 100 minus your 120, and you get negative 20, so x equals 10. So there are 10 for the 3-point questions. And here it says x plus y equals 24. Well, if x is 10, then y has to be 14. and that's going to be the 5 points. So is it A, B, C, or D that represents that? Okay, so now that we went ahead and did 148, 149 is exactly the same thing. Your goal here is to figure out what X is and figure out what Y is. So I will recommend that you go ahead and plug this 1 into the Y. So 1 equals negative 5X plus 3. Solve for X by subtracting 3 on both sides. Divided by negative 5. Negative 2 divided by negative 5 is going to give you a positive 0.4. So X equals positive 0.4, Y equals 1. Is it A, B, C, or D? Last question, you guys. So looking at this right here, it says when X is f of X is equal to negative 3. So it's saying Y equals negative 3. What is X? So it's saying when Y is equal to negative 3, X equals what number? Well, let's take a look over here. Y is the second column. Find negative 3. What is X? Negative 1. All right, you guys, go ahead and highlight your level of understanding, put everything back into your folder, and then grab your laptop and start with Edge and your skills on Edgenuity. All right, take care. See you next time.